Hey, y'all. We made over $400,000 with our cleaning business starting in 2022.
Welcome to another episode of the More Than a Side Hustle podcast, where we help 9-to-5ers create more impact, income, and influence outside their jobs. My name is Anthony.
And I'm Janoka, and welcome back. Thanks for coming. I know we haven't been as consistent, but we are here today. And we are here with a guest, and we are excited to have a great conversation, provide more information to you guys about Cleaning Business University.
Absolutely. So before we get started, just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and what you do, and then we'll dive right in.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chandrell, and I run a cleaning business that serves the Dallas and Fort Worth area. Primarily, our business does commercial and construction cleaning. We started with residential and then later on shifted the business to better suit my lifestyle, our family. And I also work full-time. I'm a mom and a soon-to-be wife.
Yeah.
Soon to be wife. Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations
you.
on being a mom.
Yeah. And what has been your success? Like, what are the numbers? That's what people always want to hear right away.
Oh, you want to talk about money?
They want to count your pockets, of course. But anyway.
Honestly, I should have looked at it again before I came. The last numbers that I sent y'all may have been 340 from like sometime last year. So we're probably at 400 something right now. And that's year to date starting in the first customer we saw was January 27th, 2022.
Okay.
2022.
So 3 years later. About 3 years later.
So when you say 300, that's $300, $400, like,
because
what I'm going to do is that's going to be the title of the episode.
Okay.
And they're going to be like, what? Wait, whoa. And that's going to make them click. So if they listen to this right now, they want to, that's what they want. So
okay, so let me try this again.
You're good.
I want to hit it with the, hey, y'all. We made over $400,000 with our cleaning business starting in 2022.
And you just, so it's your anniversary that just passed.
Yes. So I opened the business. I got all the stuff together in 2021. We saw our first customer in 2022. Yes.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Well, congrats on, because we just passed January 27th. So 3 years into the business.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So crazy.
So what made you say, let me go ahead and start a cleaning business?
So I initially thought about it a couple years before, and I was thinking of cleaning houses myself. Just because naturally that's just something I do to like relieve stress or just to zone out. You know, it doesn't require a lot of thinking. You can just work. And I was looking to make extra money because I had started following Dave Ramsey, moved out of our apartment, moved in with our parents. So we were trying to find other ways to pay down our debt. So that was one of my ideas. And when I brought it up to a couple of people, everybody was like, what? You're going to clean houses? Are you going to go in somebody's house? You know, just giving me all these like negative feedback, you know, so just kind of killing the baby before it was really born. But I'm grateful for that because I didn't know that I could do it the way that you all taught. So that was kind of how it initially started. How did I end up finding y'all though?
Yeah, that's the question. So maybe because our journey started when on social media we were sharing our debt payoff, and we shared that we did go through Dave Ramsey's program. He read Dave Ramsey's book. And so maybe that's how you started following us. I don't know, the debt payoff part of it. And then we transitioned to talking more about the cleaning business. So
by the time I saw y'all's story, y'all had already done all the promo for debt payoff, and y'all had the cleaning business. The course was out. Y'all were full blown talking about it.
It was further along.
So I think I must have seen y'all on a podcast.
Maybe.
Probably.
So the podcast, whatever podcast it was.
Yeah.
We heard something about this cleaning business. He's like, oh, that's something else that I could do that I was thinking about doing. So what made you say, all right, this is the route I'm going to go? So as people see it and they're a little worried, they're a little nervous. So what made you say, this is something I could do?
Honestly, I didn't know that I could do it first. I heard y'all and I believed y'all, but you know, naturally, like I'm just a very, I don't want to say apprehensive, but kind of like I have to think through it. I've got to marinate on it. I got to
know everything before I start.
Yes, got to ask 1,000 questions. I got to sit on it. I got to pray
on it. Sleep on it.
Sleep on it.
You don't know how many times I had to pray on it. I was like, want me to pray with you?
Hello?
You got to pray on things sometimes.
I mean, you do, but you know, what does the Bible say about, you got to put some work with it. It ain't just all just asking and praying. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought, but I didn't immediately act on it. So I think I followed y'all. And then I think it was during like when everybody was buying courses, you know, Trump was giving out those T Daddy checks. And so everybody was
Stimmies.
What they call T Daddy checks?
Yes.
The stimmies.
Okay, I know the
Yes.
stimmies.
So, I was like buying courses left and right. And I think
okay.
I almost said I told y'all before, but I had already kind of started something else that I was ready to get out of.
Mhm.
So it ended up being a good time for me to venture into something new. So I bought the course, didn't immediately do anything with it. And then just told myself, look, by the end of the year, you got to make something shake. Like enough is enough. Do it. My grandmother had passed that year from COVID. So I was like, in honor of her, like, do it. Like, so that really pushed me to get up the website stuff that you go through the course and do all of the steps that y'all.
And so what were you doing before you started the cleaning business?
Well, what was I not doing before? I was doing all kind of stuff. I called myself doing like resume writing. I called myself flipping mobile homes. I called myself what was else I doing? I forgot. I had printed out a bunch of like flyers for stuff, just anything.
You was hustling. Kind of like what Dave Ramsey said, you trying to pay off that debt. So you're trying to get all those jobs. Okay. And any of those things, like lessons from the stuff that you started, did you bring into the cleaning business or?
I think one of the things, if I had not done the mobile home stuff, I don't know that I would have taken the chance with the cleaning business because with that, I had to just force myself to just do it. Like I'm like, it takes me 3 years to make a decision. Like, I don't know how. I just like, I was buying stuff I shouldn't have been buying. Overspending money, buying houses that weren't worth nothing, just trying to force myself out of my pattern of just like, well,
taking long.
Yes. So if I had not have done that, I wouldn't have started the cleaning business. So what I took from that was you gotta act. Like, you have your fears, that's normal, that's natural, but how much are you going to let your fear hold you back from taking action, especially if you need to pay this debt off? You need to, we were buying a house at the time, so we needed to get things rolling. So, yeah.
Yeah, with fear, that's a big one. And I see it all the time. People call fear false evidence appearing real because we're thinking about something that hasn't even occurred yet. Most people are like, I'm scared to do this because of what somebody else told me or what my mama did or what my grandfather did. And now we got all these expectations from other people because we're afraid of what they went through or what I heard about. So with the mobile homes and you taking action, that forced you to get out your comfort zone a little bit and like, I'm going to do this. And even if it doesn't work, I'm going to keep progressing forward. So you took that same mindset from the mobile homes into the cleaning business.
And you left the mobile homes completely, you're saying?
I had to. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me showing up, chasing down contractors. And too, like, I did not follow the guidelines that they gave us for the mobile home. So I took that with me when I came to y'all's course. I did not skip and go outside of the lines at all. Versus when I got into the mobile, I was like, well, I can do it this way. And I can just forget that step. So I ended up losing money doing that stuff. Like, it was ridiculous. So.
Why do you feel like you skip steps? If somebody gives you a blueprint and they say, there's a puddle right there. I stepped in that puddle. I'm going to show you how to jump over it. Why would you still say, you know what? I'm going to try to walk around the puddle.
When I tell you, like, there's multiple answers to that.
She's like, it's in a therapy session. I ain't going to go too deep.
We got to go back to my upbringing.
Look, naturally, I'm very rebellious. I don't know why. And I think it's because there's parts of myself where I don't have, like, the full... any place where the fear shows up, I'm questioning my ability. But when it comes to like, when it comes to certain areas though, I'm like, man, I know what I'm doing. I got this, So it's that trying to find that balance between, are you apprehensive and taking your time with the right things? And are you overconfident in the wrong things? Like trying to balance those two things out. So yeah, I was just.
And you said you lost money. Do you mind sharing how much you lost?
Ooh, probably. It was at least probably 15,000.
Ooh, okay. 15,000. And then you decided to go on to do another business? If I was your husband, I'd been like, hey,
hold on for a minute. Wait a minute. Let's take a step back.
Let's pay this
Let's recalibrate a little bit.
So was it just a matter of like you saying like, yeah, we need to pay this, so I'm going to make this thing work? Or like what made you continue after you had, lost this money with this other business?
I think honestly, so I had taken out a personal loan to do that. And there were some of the things I did right. So I did
Okay.
make money. I think it's just overall balance sheet
Yeah.
wise is where I
P&Ls
came into
after.
the negative.
Okay, got it.
So it was by the time I got everything settled, I looked and I still owed money on the loan. And I was like, oh, so I lost money.
Got it.
So granted, at that time, we weren't married or nothing. So my financial problems were my problems. It wasn't
Got
really,
it.
his
Okay.
problem to have to manage. But
He's like, do what you want to.
I don't even think he knew how much I had gotten myself into. I don't think he had a clue. He's kind of just like, she's smart. She'll figure it out. She got it.
Got it. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
How supportive has he been throughout this journey? And he,
Fiance.
yes, your fiance.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think I don't know how people do it without a support system, especially if you work full time like me. Like I have a job, so and at that time we only had my daughter. So if I'm out shopping homes or for the mobile homes, or I'm out doing something, like either he was coming with me or he was staying back to watch our daughter, make sure she got picked up from school. So I just couldn't imagine doing it without him, just supporting me. It's not always that the person is in the business with you, but it's
how they support you in different ways to allow you to excel
because
in the business.
Anytime as a family unit, if somebody's stepping out to do something, that means there's a deficit where you're not there, right? So you need your partner to come up and pick up the slack for you if you are not if you're trying to venture out and kind of step out and do something new. So I appreciate him so much. I had my mom, my grandmother. This is back when I was doing the mobile home stuff. And even now in the cleaning business, my grandmother has cleaned, my brothers have cleaned, my sister-in-law, my uncles, my just a lot of people have supported me.
Oh, that's great.
Let's start that part of the journey. So mobile homes is done. You got our program, Cleaning Business University. What helped you to get started immediately in the program?
So I think from the time I bought the course, it probably took me about a month or two before I opened it and got started, but it was super easy to follow, very elementary steps. Not saying that this isn't, I guess I'm trying to say it wasn't overly complicated. You guys made it simple. You made it like to where a third grader could understand. And once I got going with it, I just was able to kind of just, okay, you said do this step. Okay, pause. I'm going to go and sign up for this and get this part done. Come back, sign up and get that. So by the time I finished the course, the whole thing was done.
Okay. Sorry. I had to text the babysitter.
Oh, I was letting you go.
No, I know, but the babysitter was texting me. My bad.
Okay. So walk me through some of those first couple months, because that's part of the fear. They're like, okay, now we start going through starting this business. Most of our listeners, people who join our program, they're brand new to entrepreneurship for the most part, brand new to business, and then 90% of them are brand new to cleaning. So they're thinking, I got to go out, buy cleaning supplies, get a mop and a broom, leave my 9-to-5 job. And so what was your experience in those first, I'm going to say the first like 6 months? So I think those are like the most crucial months for people.
Yeah. I was very blessed to be in like a low competition area. So when I turned it on, it was like Fast and Furious, because my business isn't directly in the city of Dallas, but we're more like kind of supporting the outskirts of Dallas. So the first day, once I finished the course, I turned on Google Local Services. I think it's called something else now, but I turned it on. I started getting calls immediately. Like immediately, my phone started ringing.
Really?
So I got the cleaner. Oh, I almost missed this part. I want to make sure I share this. Getting the cleaners.
Start there, yeah.
What I did was people were leaving business cards on our doorstep in our neighborhood. So I would collect those business cards, and then I was just starting to use those people to clean my house. So over time, I could see, okay, this cleaner did good, whatever. Once I had a lady that I had used her consistently, I went to her and said, hey, like, I have a business. Here's what I charge. Would you be willing to take, this much if I'm willing to get all the bookings, handle all that stuff for you? She said yes. So once I turned on Google Local Services and I booked a customer, she took
called her up.
Yeah,
you called her up.
And then I was stuck because my phone rang again and that somebody else wanted a cleaning.
And you're like, so you started with one cleaner?
I started with one.
Okay. And the only reason I point that out, because that's always the question. Well, a question we get is, should I get the cleaner first or get the jobs first? And I always say, well, if you don't plan to go out and clean, you need the cleaner. But then
For
also if you
sure.
have one or two cleaners, and I think it just depends on the person's availability and things
Yes.
like that. And but for
Yes.
you said the phone started ringing right away.
Yes.
So
I didn't expect that.
right,
So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna turn everything on and then
we gonna let it work out.
we'll just see. But no, so I had to kind of move quickly. So I sent my cleaner for that job. I still remember that lady. I don't clean for her no more, but I remember her. And then the next call that came in, I was like, well, I don't have anybody else. I guess I got to go do it. So I got my sister-in-law. We ran to the store, got a couple supplies, and
You
we
went
went
to
to go
do it.
clean the house. Yep, we went to go do it. And honestly, that's probably not ideal, but I was grateful for those times because that was never the end goal to always be in it. But
Right.
I'm the type of person, whether I'm on my job or whether I'm in my business, I want to know how things work. I want to know what to expect. Okay, how is it when you arrive to a stranger's home? And how is it when you're going through their things? Just all that stuff. You typically clean your own house. But it's different when you're in the home of someone. How is it when they're there? How is it when they're not there? All those things can happen. So the second house I cleaned, and then from there it just was rocking and roll. I think that was at the very end. I said January the 27th or so. I think in that last week we did like $700 in
Really?
January, just that quick.
Do you remember how many cleanings you've actually cleaned for yourself that you did yourself?
Ooh, I would say less than 10.
Less than 10. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
yes, for residential, I would say definitely less than 10.
Less than 10. And then you just started getting more people, hiring more contractors to work with you. And things like that.
Going in Facebook groups, local Facebook groups for our area. Anytime somebody says, hey,
Yep.
anybody have any cleaners?
And
There's
everybody drop the
1,000
information.
people.
Screenshots.
Easily just started messaging people. And some people were like, I've gotten people that were pissed, like, I'm like, just, if you don't want it, you don't want to make the money, it's fine. And then I've gotten some, really good cleaners from doing that. I've gotten a good amount from Indeed, and I've never paid for any recruiting services or anything like that. So from there I just started going through that process, and I was able to bring on at least 3 or 4 more. And then of course the cleaners have aunts and cousins, and so that ends
once
up
they
being
start getting that income and seeing that the person they're working with is nice and things are flowing, they're like, I got somebody. I got somebody else that can help us do this.
So
do
grateful
this
for
thing.
them.
So
Yes, so grateful for that. My early cleaners, most of all of them still work with me to this day.
oh, even the first person that you
Yep, the
first
first
lady?
one, she just had a baby. So yep.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's the same
That's nice.
for us.
We have a lot of
I think
first
our
people.
people that's been around our people that we
brought on.
they're still here.
Yeah.
I think it's like a core of like 5 of them that from year like 2 up to year 7.5, they're still with us.
Yeah.
Some of them went on and they're like, all right,
left, came back,
moved, had family, came back. So
It's wild.
Yeah.
what do you feel like attracted people earlier on to your business, whether it's the cleaners or the clients?
I think for the clients, I don't think there was anything in particular. We had a Google page. We put pictures up. We had reviews up, so that was helpful. And then and the fact that we answered the phone, I think that was really a lot, because you will realize most people don't answer the phone. So that's probably the biggest thing. And you get some people that you can't capture because of pricing, right? Like because we're using a contractor, we can't charge $100. Like, we have to be a more premium service, So that, I think, this created some division between us and the competition when it came to that. When it came to the cleaners, I would say we just vibed. Like, we were able to, once they came in, so I would have them come and clean my house first. And you can kind of tell from someone's energy, like,
you like them, how they respond.
They seem they understand enough about business to know that there's a contract, or we can talk about insurance if we're going to do that, or, they're asking the right questions, so they don't just seem lost, and they show up with their own products. So that was helpful. But I think what made them stay at the beginning, I was paying every day, if I'm not mistaken. At the end of every day, I was doing some kind of like
girl, before the money came in?
Well, you charge them right the same day you charge the customer.
Yeah,
You
but
run
don't
their
hit your
card.
account is what I'm saying.
Oh, it's been a while since we've done that, but yeah.
It takes a few. It got to go through the
Look,
process.
I had to distinguish myself in the market. Okay.
No, that's
that's a different take. I'm not saying you can't do it, but that's a different.
Yeah,
way of
telling
doing
somebody
stuff.
you're gonna get paid every day is like,
Yeah, they're like, hell yeah.
And I was so nervous too, just not knowing. Like, I think what ends up in my mind, like not realizing this is mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
It's so easy to see it as because I own the business, you're doing something for me, but I'm paying you. So,
Yeah.
I'm sending you more work. So we are mutually helping each other.
Mhm.
So once I kind of got my mind wrapped around that, like, this isn't just a fluke. I'm out here. I do have a business. We do have consistent customers, and it is too much to do this every day. We went ahead and made that change.
To pay them every day.
Yeah, just move to
Yeah, just
Fridays.
looking to them as like partners. So we said,
Yeah,
like, kind of
agreed.
working together in that way. Now, business started booming. Do you know how much you made the first year?
Ooh, I would say 150.
Okay,
I think the first year.
that's really good. And was
Mhm.
that all residential or?
No. I did residential solid, I think, for the first 6 months, but it was hard on me. Like, it just doesn't
Okay.
fit my temperament. Like, I was
Okay.
dreading answering the phone. Like, money's calling, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody on the phone. I'm tired. Like, and then you have to do the follow up because you want to know how did the service go. And I was dreading doing those calls, and then you deal with the complaints, and it just it was
It
hard
could be
on me.
emotionally taxing sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm just one of those people, like, I think this is one of those fear things that kept me from starting is I just want to do a good job. But I'm not in control of what the cleaner does when they get
Right.
there. I do my best to vet them and find the right people and, talk to them about, if they have issues and a customer complains. But at the end of the day, you're taking a risk because my reputation as a business lies with somebody else. So that was really hard on me. So what I ended up getting a contract with a construction company. And so once I saw that it was more fitting to my schedule, my temperament, and it worked better with the cleaners that I had, I ended up giving my residential customers to the cleaners and just completely leaving it alone.
And completely going all in commercial.
In
And
construction.
before we go to the commercial, I did want to ask, how were you marketing yourself when it came to the residential side? Was it just Google Local Services, or were you doing other things?
I did SEO from early on.
Okay.
Got a SEO guy, and he's been with me.
And he's still
to
with
this
you?
day. He's still with
Okay.
me. He helped build out my website and
Did
add
all
on
those
my
things.
service pages and things like that. So that was helpful. I tried Yelp, hated it. Still to this day, Yelp, you can count your days. Don't call me.
Don't call me
Yelp
no more.
Mafia.
Oh, do not call my phone again. And I tried Google Ads, so actual running ads, and I had Google experts set it up. That was just a waste. So Google Local Services was my go-to,
Was your go-to?
my moneymaker.
So once you saw you got this commercial, and how did the commercial person find you?
Google.
Okay.
So do you think that you could have started the business and jumped in commercial from day one, or do you feel like the residential gave you a good footing and understanding of the business model?
I think honestly, you probably could start either way. Because I think if as the type of person that I am, I know I'm at the beginning, I'm gonna be hands-on and I'm gonna be figuring it out anyway. So I don't think that there's a that you have to start with either one. But I would say if you are someone who is never going to enter the space, then it's probably easier to start with residential because the pricing, like you all help set up everything so well that you can just jump into residential straight from the course from the time that I took it and everything was set up and good to go. Commercial's a little bit different, like how to figure out pricing, how to do the bids and all that stuff. So, I mean, not to say you couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. You could Google it, but yeah. I get what you're saying. So you would say it just depends on, I would say sometimes I think it depends on the person.
I would agree.
If they can jump into commercial right away or not. But like you said, your personality that you were able to handle that. But I think it depends on the person. I would put most people probably straight into residential first and then kind of transition.
So I think it's more baby steps.
Yeah.
Like you don't gotta jump all. I think when you get our first commercial job, I was like, I gotta leave my office. I gotta go quote this. I had to walk a Samsung building that was like 10,000, 20,000 square feet.
Yep.
I have no idea. I had to find cleaners, and I was like, we didn't even get the bin. I was like, oh wow.
Yes,
they
that's a
never
point.
opened up. They never opened up the facility or something. I was like, wow. But at least I got to do it. But I had to do all these big things. So
yeah, that's a good point.
that was Joke was like, you gonna go? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just see what it's like. And
I'm in the area. Are you?
I was gonna go. It could have been 30, 40, 50 miles out. I would have still went. But yeah, it was definitely. I don't want to say overwhelming, but it was definitely like, wow, this is a lot.
This is serious.
A lot to manage if we would have got that. So
yeah, that's a really good point. Because with residential, let's say if I want to know, and I think you all recommend this in the course too. You want to know what to charge? Just go to other people's websites, see what they're charging. You know, call another company. Commercials, like you can't do that because they need nuances they have to come out and see in order to give you some kind of price. Their pricing's not online, you know, so that makes it a little bit difficult too. And then staffing, like you got to know it's not like I'm gonna just send a cleaner out and they're done. Like some of them want somebody on site 24/7. Yeah, supervisors, and they have all these different
quality and all this stuff, type of stuff. So you got the first call, but you took it because we've seen some students like, oh, somebody from commercial called me and I'm not taking it because I don't know what to do. But you took it, and do you remember how much that job was?
So okay, this one, the first like office that we had, I don't remember.
Okay.
But when we started on the construction side, which made me leave the residential, it was with a construction company that was building an apartment complex.
Okay.
So they needed us there multiple times a week for at least, I think we were there over a year. I think. So just imagine, you know,
wow.
And it wasn't like they needed us staffed, like somebody needs to be here between these hours, but it's like as we develop, we need cleaners to come. And as we develop, we need cleaners to come. So I had no idea what I was doing. I priced it like I would do if we did a construction clean for a residential home with a little bit more on it. And I think that contract was over $100,000.
And that was for a year?
It didn't have a date on it. So the way it goes is you show up, we're going to start the work at this time. We need you until the work is done.
Yeah.
Until the project's complete.
And once the project was over 100,000. That's great. And they had found you from Google too, or did you start?
They found me from Google.
There we go.
But I always say like, that's nothing but God because one, construction industry doesn't work like that.
Right.
No, they have a behind the scene like bidding list or bidders list or subcontractor list that you have to pre-qualify to get on, and then from there they reach out to those people submit bids,
and then they decide.
It's different. So for someone to pick up the phone and say I looked you up on Google, that's not typical. And the reason that happened is because they had a young guy.
I was gonna say it probably was an assistant, like I don't know where to find nobody. Let me check Google.
I mean, that's what I would check.
That's what I'm thinking. That's probably what it was.
The old guys in the industry, you know, they have a certain way they do it. But this young guy, and not long after we won the bid, he was gone. So literally, you just see how God will, you know, open doors and set up situations. I didn't think we were gonna get it because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I submitted to you. He's like, this is great. He probably didn't check with nobody else. He got an answer.
I said, Lord have mercy.
He said approve.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we made mistakes. We got over there. We made mistakes. I didn't realize that I was also responsible for like exterior window cleaning, and I only had bid out for interior windows. Just all those little things. So,
and you were able to add on, like cost wise, were you able to add on to say?
I think at some points I either ate it or we just were like, hey, we don't do that.
Okay.
Like, and it was like, so what you gonna do?
Yeah. You already had us here for 7 months. Yeah.
We're not doing it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So we did it where it mattered. But yeah, that was a big one. I was able to hire my uncle on, who had recently been released from prison. And he was looking for work. So the timing of how everything came together, like he was pretty much like my second hand on site, helping me to complete the project. Because you need somebody there to kind of keep everything organized and moving along. Yeah, that was amazing.
He I know you mentioned having other family members in the business, but was he the first hire in the business?
So he was contracted as well, but my grandmother, who's 70-something years old, has cleaned residential with me, and she cleaned commercial with me. She's cleaned construction with me, everything. My soon-to-be husband, we were out there late at night, almost got arrested trying to do some cleaning in the middle of the night, like crazy stuff.
By any means necessary.
Just before I don't know how that's gonna play out. So let me make sure I give all the enough detail for this.
You wonder why you see that one clip
and be like, okay, so we communicated to the folks on site, hey, we weren't able to finish. We'll be back tonight to finish up the rest of the work. They didn't communicate that to security.
Right.
So we get there, the gate's locked. So
you're like, how are we supposed to clean?
we hop the gate.
Yeah.
Not you hop the gate. Wow. Adam like we couldn't get in.
That's it.
We couldn't get in.
We hopped the gate and got inside and went and started cleaning.
Right now, she's scaring some people away. Like, ain't no way I'm doing this, but they're like,
you don't have to. You don't
need to do
You ain't got to
this.
jump the gate.
No.
You having fun with this.
That's hilarious.
You turn this into a mini movie.
I mean, again, it's my reputation. If I say I'm going to be somewhere and we're going to do something, I just don't want to, let my customer down. So we get there, we're cleaning. We can see the security guy posted up. We think he sees us. So we're like, okay, cool. We're cleaning windows, outside windows. Before I know it, he pulls up, like comes around, pulls up. Hey, what are y'all doing? I'm like, hey, he's like, I gotta call my boss. He goes and he's literally got his hand on
his gun.
Something. I don't know if it was a taser, if it was a BB gun. It was something. We're like, what the heck? So they're calling security. They're calling the cops. And all to find out, they're like, oh, you know so-and-so? Oh, okay, y'all are fine.
Well, we're lucky it ended that way. That's how it went.
We were brown people in a different kind of
area.
Okay.
So. And so you mentioned family. What has your kind of outside of your fiance? What has your family felt about this, or they've been involved? So you've been.
Yes.
You mentioned sister, grandmother, uncle, everybody involved. What do they say about it?
I mean, they ain't involved for free.
Besides
him, he free. But, but and not that my family wouldn't do it for free. I work full time, so I'm not dependent on this to survive. So I'm like, anytime cleaning is hard work. So if you step out to come help me, I'm gonna make sure I pay you. But they have been really supportive. If they couldn't come with me, then they're taking one of the kids to help me so that I can go make sure things get done well. So yeah, my family has been amazing.
That's good. That's really good because, like you said, I think that's part of the process of maybe it's not directly in the business, but other ways. And some people don't like working with family, so it's good.
What's your thoughts on that? We see that a lot where in the space people she's like,
I'm like,
I wouldn't hire
some
family.
people is me, family and friends.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the Black community only, but a lot of us are like, well, don't bring family in. And I'm always of the mindset like, give them a shot. Why not? Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. Because now if it doesn't work and you take it personal, it messes up that personal relationship. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think
has it impacted you at all?
Has it impacted me?
Any disagreements with family members or?
No. And I think honestly, not because they couldn't have happened, more because of, I keep saying temperament, because of my temperament.
Yeah.
So let's say my uncle came in. It was more so about like, hey, he's in a program to kind of re-enter society. He needs to be able to show that he's working consistently. He's showing, to be released from his program that he was in. My uncle's doesn't wear glasses. He missing stuff when we clean. I'm coming behind him, but in my mind, there was a bigger picture that I was going after with it. One, I needed, look, if all I gotta do is come behind you and just do, and get on,
that's
that
better
was
than me doing the whole thing.
That was better for me. So that I didn't turn into an issue. I would notice though, like not everybody's got the drive to do it. People are going to jump in to help, so you can't over abuse if people are just helping you. I haven't had to hire anybody directly, but I try to, when it comes to my family, make sure they get paid, make sure I let them know what I need, but not make it a consistent thing. Like even my uncle, he's done. He doesn't work with me no more. He helped me with that project and now he's done. He's like, I don't want to clean no more.
Yeah.
That's fine. I would see where I would have a shortcoming with it if I tried to hire somebody is I'm not as like with family you can't handle them with the soft gloves like you gotta you're trying to manage not messing up the relationship, so that's my
tough. Part of the family and friends not bringing out that I don't think they can do it. It's just that I don't want if anything goes wrong to mess up the relationship. Now we piss for life because of this thing that we could have potentially avoided. That's only my thought. But like you said it was like project based, so you didn't feel I guess so much obligation or that it would turn to that. And some of what so commercial is where you could have continued on. You're still in commercial and only doing commercial.
So right now, most of our customers are commercial customers. We are still open for construction.
Residents. Oh, construction. Sorry.
Yes, but construction is project based. So You get with somebody, the project may run for a couple months. It may be a one-time thing and it's done.
Yeah.
They may not have nothing else for you for a while.
Okay.
So in the meantime, we keep our commercial.
So does
customers
commercial
going.
find you on Google and post construction? You're on a different site, or how does that work?
So commercial finds me from Google and SEO.
Mm-hmm.
Construction, I have went to the ones that have found me has also been on Google. I have also some relationships in the industry, so we've gotten work from that.
Okay.
But going on those lists, I've done that and I haven't seen much fruit from it yet. But I think
Okay.
it requires a lot more like diligence, staying in front of that customer, reaching out, like nurturing
And
that
what's the list?
customer.
Can you break down what the list is? Like,
So
are you
when
paying for the list?
no. So when you want to work for, if it's just a mom and pop construction company, you probably don't have to worry about it. But somebody that's like doing large scale projects, skyscrapers, schools, HEBs, whatever, apartment complexes, you have to go through a pre-qualification process. So they want your financials, they want your insurance, they want your certifications, they want all this stuff. And then once you submit that, then they vet you and they may give you a score of like whether you are high risk, low risk, and whether, then they may want to reach out to your references, all of this stuff just to say, okay, great. Now we'll put you in the pool of everybody else who's done that same thing.
Got it.
And if we have a job that comes up, we can reach out to you and let you know what the job is, and y'all can pretty much duke it out over the pricing. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
that's
it's a
what that
mixture.
is.
I was gonna ask, going back to the job and managing the businesses, how has that been from the very beginning to where it is now? How are you juggling and managing both?
So when I was doing residential, it was really tough because I
Mhm.
work full time, and residential is a lot of phone calls.
Mhm.
People are constantly calling. You can have your website set up.
Mhm.
There will be people who will go to your site. Thank God for those people. But most people, they want to talk to somebody. They want to ask questions,
Mhm.
So that was difficult for me to manage, which was also causing me anxiety because I'm in a meeting, but money's calling on the other phone.
Yeah.
But this is money on this phone too. So it's like trying to balance it was really tough. So I was grateful to come out of residential because commercial is mostly email. They're going to start with an email. They may call you and say, hey, can you come and do a bid? But everything else is via email. Same thing with construction, a lot is via email. So
So you kind of make it around your schedule.
I can make it around my schedule. Wait, I forgot. What was the question you asked me?
How's it
Balancing it.
managing?
Oh, okay.
balancing
So
both?
now it's easier. I work from home. So if I need to go do a bid, I can schedule during my lunch, do the bid and come back. So that's not a problem. And once we win a bid and that contract is set up, my cleaners come and go. The supplies, that the supplies are probably there on site. They don't really need to talk to me about anything unless
Mhm.
something goes wrong,
Mhm.
So it's a lot more hands off now that I'm shifted into the commercial and construction side.
Okay. And are you running everything on your own? Do you have a virtual assistant, or how are you
Just
doing that?
me.
Just you. Would you ever get a virtual assistant?
I think if the business was more consistent, meaning
Okay.
not the commercial stuff, but my construction stuff, because if that was more consistent, I would need to get some help.
Okay. And is there a way that you could make it? Would you say that you're stopping yourself from making it more consistent? Yes. Okay. Okay. You're having the business fit the life that you want.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My goal when I started, like I initially thought I was like, man, I'm gonna just grow. Like it was so much about grow,
Mhm.
and then not realizing that like you gotta like things aren't just magically growing.
Yeah.
Like yeah, obviously God is presenting you with opportunities, and I thank God for His grace where He was able to lessen my like responsibilities at work at the time when I was the busiest.
Mm.
But outside of that, like you gotta be grinding on this commercial and construction journey, and I'm busy at work right now, so I'm just
Yeah.
not there.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the flexibility of having this kind of business because if I want to get out there and grow it, I just need to turn the knob
Yep.
and turn up the volume some. But if I don't, I can allow it to kind of just run itself. We don't make as much money. That's fine, but that's what works for me.
What works for you?
How has your life changed since you started the business?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So I'm no longer in debt. Hallelujah.
Ooh.
Congratulations.
$15,000 gone.
Yes, and plus, so student loans, 10,000 gone. Any type of did I have any credit card debt? I don't think so. It was just that personal loan and the student loan's gone. I've been able to take my mom on vacation. We went to Costa Rica. I've been able to do things just from different family members, the people who've helped me. I've been able to pay people like my uncle getting out of that program and working and having consistent income, like that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
People get out of prison and they get
can't
So
get
you
offered.
nothing.
couldn't hire your uncle at your job?
What you talking about? No, and once you have a record, like your
Yeah.
chances out here are
Yeah.
slim. It's slim pickings. And then once somebody will give you an opportunity, he was being offered like 1 day a week, 2 days a week, minimum wage. So you
Yeah.
can't make a living from that. Like, how are you supposed to prove yourself in society when nobody's really giving you
Give
a
you a shot.
real chance?
Yeah.
You know? So my uncle is self-sufficient now.
Oh,
Like
that's
he's coming
amazing.
to my wedding in Vegas. So like he's
That's amazing.
yes,
That's
he's
dope.
living his life.
All
I'm so
within,
grateful.
what was that, 3 years?
Yeah, no, short.
That's quick.
So those things to me mean so much. I've got cleaners who bought cars. You know, they've had babies. Like, not only my life has changed by this, but people close to me have been impacted by me starting this business. Like, I can't even put that into words what that means to me.
Yeah, I don't even know where I want to go with that one because I think there were so many different pieces to unpack. You got the uncle, you went on a vacation with the family.
Yes.
And-
Vacations, debt payoff, helping people in the family, helping the people that you work with for them to continue to grow and do their own thing as well. So yeah. So it's been impactful to say the least.
Oh gosh. Y'all have no idea. And that's only the stuff I can remember right now off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more.
And so for those that are watching that are afraid to start, or what would you say to them? What advice would you give to someone that's like, I'm not sure this is for me, or I'm not sure they're legit? Because we get those too. Like, you guys could be scammers. So like,
I
we
get called a
those too.
scammer.
He does. But
Maybe
I'm like,
me more than you because my face is like everywhere.
and
But
I'm like, let me be a scammer because I know I'm not.
she's okay with being a scammer.
I am.
This is
Because I know that.
this is my Hartzog last name.
Yeah.
There's not many
He's
Hartzogs
like,
out
he's
there.
like, this is my name out here. That's him.
This is my last. There's not many black Hartzogs out here, so don't put
That's fair. But either way, I know I'm not doing that. So to me, I like rub it off. That's what I would say. But people
That's
say those type of things.
wild.
But the scammers and those that are those that are questioning if it's for them or if they should do it, what advice could you give them throughout your time in the business?
I will say this, like, having fear is normal, like to an extent. Like, you don't want crippling fear, but being a little anxious or nervous to kind of put yourself out there, that's a normal thing. But you have to get to a certain point where you have something that you're doing it for. Like, I had to pay that debt off, or else I was gonna be paying $800 a month out of my pocket to pay it back. I had to we were trying to buy her. So I had reasons that I needed to get this thing going to push me past my fear. If I hadn't really taken risks before, or if I didn't have that stuff, I probably would have still be sitting back concerned and scared and thinking, what if and what if that. There's nobody in this world who's going to do something the first time and just do it 100% perfect. What do you really have to lose? Okay, if you open it and you get the website or whatever, you spend a couple $100. If you don't have that to risk, then you probably are not ready to start the business yet. You know, just kind of thinking through all of those things, and then looking at your life, looking at, do you have capacity mentally, physically, emotionally? And is this something that really God is putting on your heart to do? Because I will tell you, if you don't have like his grace kind of helping you through when those moments where you want to quit, when things are getting really tough, it's almost impossible. It can be overwhelming. So there's a lot to consider. Yeah. All that.
All those things.
Think through it.
Think through it. Anything else, I guess, or I don't know if you had anything before. Anything else that we didn't cover that you would want to make sure that someone knows about the business, about the program, or anything coming in?
I would say the program can help you start. Honestly, it could help you start any subcontracting type business, right?
We used to call it six-figure service-based business course. Like, that's what it used to be called. Because we're like, you could do this for lawn, window, anything.
Anything.
I got a testimony. This guy did, 10K with mobile massages. I was like, I don't know how. I don't know.
Sure.
But he was like, my wife was a masseuse, and they started a business. They started a cleaning business. He's like, wait, this could work for this. And he was like, yeah, we started a mobile.
And people did it with carpet. Some people did it with daycare.
Daycare, yeah.
Like,
Yep.
just hiring people to work for you. Like,
literally.
essentially, but yeah.
Literally. So you could that's one thing. It maybe if cleaning's not your thing per se, like you said, you got mobile car detail, you got window washing, you've got
lawn,
anything where you need to hire a subcontractor to perform the work, and you are responsible for doing the marketing, the customer outreach, the phone calls, whatever. You could apply this same template to that business. What else? I will say, I was telling them before, like, we even cleaned hotels, which is like something you wouldn't even think of because they have they hire housekeeping, but they outsource that too. So if you just never
Didn't know that.
Some of it is completely
Some of them.
outsourced.
Some people think it's like, oh, you're a big company, so you're just gonna go with whoever you hire or whatever. But no.
How they? Let's get into that. How they find you? Like
Google.
Wow.
Yep, they reached out to me. It was a family-owned company. They reached
like a boutique hotel.
And it was great for us because it was small units. They're not your standard like big rooms.
But boutique hotels cost a lot of money.
Yes,
they're not like the regular rate. So.
And so they had a little bit more to be able to spend. You come in, all of the supplies are there. You don't need to bring nothing. You know, they have a template of kind of how they want things done. So as long as you're up to speed on their process and procedures, you just need to plug somebody in. The laundry's done, everything. All you do is, we came in, had somebody get trained up on, and it took like 20 minutes to understand what was what. And we was in there flipping them rooms, turning them around. It's keep in mind, it's still a bed, a shower, a toilet. It's nothing different than what it's just understanding what that customer is looking for. How do you want the pillows to be laid? Just a little bit of the details, but it paid well.
Was that a contract? Was that a timeline?
No, they used us as a like as needed.
Okay.
So they would call, hey, we don't have anybody. Can y'all come? And guess what? If you calling me last minute,
you gotta add something to it. You have to add something to it.
It's a little bit more expensive. We're like, we coming. Come on, Granny.
We'll be there.
Yes.
So that's good. I don't think I had any other questions. We just wanted to thank you again for coming. I say again because we did record this about 2-3 months ago.
We didn't let you guys know.
We recorded this about 2-3 months ago, and we had some issues, some technical issues, so we had to run it back. So we appreciate you spending some more time with us to share your story with our students, letting people know what's possible, and
so we're gonna
represent
you with your award from Cleaning Business University, doing over $300,000 in your cleaning business.
Thank you.
Update that to 400 now.
Well, we ain't giving awards every 100K now.
That was a customized one.
That's what I mean.
We gotta when you hit 500K, we'll give you the medium sized one, and then you get the big platinum one.
Okay.
So. But no, we really appreciate you just coming out and telling your story. It really goes a long way for people just wondering if it's possible. Can I do it? Can it work in my city? Can all those things you kind of hear. So
and it helps people show that this is real. I'm
a real person.
That you're a real person, but then also the impact that you have created for family members and friends and cleaners. That's a real thing.
Yep. That's it for More Than Side Hustle podcast this week.
Yes. So please, guys, I want to thank you. We want to let you guys know we appreciate you guys listening to every single episode, leaving us 5-star reviews. We want to get up to 400 5-star reviews by the end of this year. That's a very ambitious
year
goal.
Or a month?
I was gonna say end of the year.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's what I'm about to say.
That's a good goal.
It's fine. And the stories you
drop us a 5-star review. If you feel like there's a 5-star podcast, we'll keep these stories going. We'll keep sharing our story. Our goal is to create more impact, income, and influence outside your 9 to 5. So appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.